song, no matter how funny or outlandish, portrays Gregory Rasputin's life to a T. Rasputin, according to biographybase.com, was born in 1869 or somewhere around there because his actual date of birth has always been in dispute. Rasputin, though, was mainly recognized in the early hundreds during the rule of Nicholas II, Tsar of Russia. Like the song portrays, Rasputin was a very interesting fellow who was brought to fame by his mystical healings, played a strong but subtle role in the rule of Nicholas II, and left a legacy behind for generations to come. Nicholas II, when he came into power in 1894, had a strong role as a father. He was constantly figuring out ways that he could help cure his son, Alexis, from his disease of being a hemophiliac. They had tried many doctors and nothing could help cure him until they heard about Rasputin. Rasputin came from a place where he had a reputation of, as worldlyschool.net says, a reputation of being a reckless drunkard, a healer, and a womanizer. But Alexis finally found some relief from his illness. Many have come to believe that Rasputin used a form of hypnosis to cure the child, but there is a story that proves that might be false. One time, as Rasputin was out of town, Alexis had a horrible case where he needed Rasputin, and they called him on the phone, and just the sound of his voice cured Alexis for the time being. Rasputin's relationship with Nicholas II did not simply end right there with the healing of Alexis. Instead, he also found himself being asked for political gain, and Nicholas would come to him and ask him different things about politics, and the people around Nicholas started to become jealous and were nervous that Rasputin was gaining too much power. When Nicholas was once confronted about this, Alexandria, his wife, came and stood by Rasputin's side instead of Nicholas II, and so Nicholas just stood by the wayside and let Rasputin gain the power that he was slowly gaining. And finally, the politicians and the Duma couldn't take it, and so they finally went and tried to kill Rasputin. And that's where his legacy comes in. Rasputin it's said that he could not be killed. In a quote that he had, it said, "The aristocrats can't get used to the idea that a humble peasant should be protected against ill fortune. There have been several attempts on my life, but the Lord has always frustrated these plots. Disaster will come to anyone who lifts a finger against me." The fact of the matter is that half of that saying is true. There was disaster that came when Rasputin was killed to those who tried to kill him. He, once dead, all the people who were involved died or were taken out of power, not by him, of course, but by things that happened in the next 19 months. To kill Rasputin, they tried to first shoot him, and then they tied him up and threw him out the window. And it was in December, so they went outside the window and cut out a hole in the ice on a river and put him under the ice, where later they found his body, and it was discovered that he died from drowning, as in he wasn't dead any of the other ways that they tried to kill him. Rasputin's life left a legend to question. Is that really how he died, or was that just a myth that was brought to pass because it matched the rest of his life, his mysteries and how he was going insane? And he came from a small peasant family, hardly literate, to a place where he was being consulted by the all-powerful Tsar. One thing is for sure, Rasputin